Hi, I'm Doug Swank with Trilithic. Today I want to give you a high-level overview of our Trilithic Data Manager server software, the TDM product. TDM essentially has three components: the server itself, the 860 signal level meter handheld units, and the Workbench client software. Workbench is where you create channel plans, create auto tests, create packages to clone meters. Some of the functions of the TDM server are inventory management. If you have a large fleet of 860s, you can essentially clone all your meters very easily. You can distribute channel plans and macros to all the 860s through the Workbench client software and the TDM server. You can also pull reports on your meters. In other words, I can pull a report showing who needs firmware updated, whose meter needs calibrated, that kind of thing. Another function of TDM is workforce management, commonly known as home cert or technician compliance. If you're requiring your technicians to run an auto test, one or more, at the customer's home, TDM can answer two basic questions. One, did the technician run the test that we're requiring? And two, did those tests pass? In other words, is the technician leaving the home with passing test results? And you can run reports on this data showing statistics, who's doing a good job, who may need additional training, that kind of thing. A third application could be a maintenance application. In this example, a maintenance tech might be running an end-of-line test at a particular location. He can save that data on the TDM server and then 3 months later, a year later, come back to that location and compare today's test results to the ones he saved 3 months ago, a year ago. Let's take a look at some of the examples of the reports and some functions of the TDM server. Here we're looking at a list of 860s on the TDM administration homepage. Just about all the information that's stored on the TDM server can be accessed via a web browser, Internet Explorer, Firefox, Google Chrome. You don't necessarily have to have the Workbench client software installed on every PC in order to pull reports or manage your inventory. For some applications you do, and we'll show you that shortly, but for most everything is web accessible. Right now we're looking at a list of 860s as stored on the TDM server. Every time a meter connects to the server, the operator name, the date and time the meter connected, along with specific details about that meter, are recorded on the server. One thing you'll notice is that you can organize your inventory into work groups. In other words, specific technicians can be assigned to their supervisors. Those supervisors can be members of a manager's work group and on up the line. The advantage of this is I can distribute channel plans, macros, configuration packages with a few simple mouse clicks to specific meters, all meters in a specific work group or work groups, or to every meter on the server. And that's done with the Workbench client software. For this example, let's say I've got a channel plan that's loaded in all the meters, and then that channel plan has recently changed. I can make the changes in my channel plan, save that on the server, and then very easily distribute that to an individual 860, a specific work group or more work groups, or to every 860 that's on the server. Once that channel plan has been distributed, the next time that particular meter connects to the server, the technician can download and install that channel plan. This will save a lot of time distributing channel plans, auto test, configuration packages. Just about everything can be managed from the workbench software through the TDM server. I don't have to bring every individual meter into the shop and install a new channel plan on it. One of the reporting functions of the TDM software is TDM data access. Once again, it's web accessible. In the meter inventory section, I pulled a sample report here for Supervisor Holmes, showing the operator name of all the technicians under his management, the serial numbers on the meters, firmware version, modem type, modem firmware, the MAC addresses, the calibration date, whether it has DOCSIS 3 installed or not. This is just a sample. Just about any hardware option, software option can be pulled using this report. For example, if I want to know who's up to date on their firmware, I can pull a report just showing the technician's name and the firmware version. I can sort this just like Excel from low to high, and then I can export that to a CSV file, Excel file, or straight to PDF. If I want to find out what meters have the QAM source enabled, I can pull a report on that. If I need a list of MAC addresses to check provisioning, all this is very simply pulled, very flexible, and pulls very quickly. Probably the most popular use of the TDM software is technician compliance. TDM will basically answer two questions. Did the technician run the test or tests that I want him to at the customer's home? And two, did those tests pass? In this report we see here, for the time period last week, I've broken it down by supervisor. I can see all the technicians for Supervisor Bush. 346 auto tests were required, 257 were actually run, and of those 169 passed. My percent passed requirements answers the question, of all the work orders, how many techs ran the required macros and had all their tests pass. These are all links as well. I can tunnel down to the specific technician, look at my results per tech, and then I can tunnel even farther down to the work orders that that technician was assigned, and then down to the specific test results. Here's an example of a test that a technician ran. We can see Tech 1109 for work order 028885 ran a CPE macro and it failed. We see that the scan failed and the modem stats failed. There's a graphical representation. I can see very easily some of the low frequency channels were below limits. I also have a table showing specifically what failed, what channels failed, and as I scroll down I can see the summary of my test and also see the reason the modem stats failed. Looks like my upstream level was a little high. Just like the other reports, I can export this to a CSV file, straight to Excel, or straight to PDF. And then finally, a third application that's commonly used is a maintenance application for TDM. Let's say in this example, my maintenance techs are required to run an end-of-line test at specific locations throughout the plant. If those tests are uploaded to the TDM server, I can pull archive data. In other words, if I'm at a specific location and I have these test results, I can pull a report that shows what those same test results were 30 days ago, 120 days ago, a year ago. In this example, I've pulled all the test results over the past 120 days for node 1DSF. I can see all the work orders and tunnel down into these, see what passed, what failed, see the specific levels, that sort of thing. Thank you for watching this video about the Trilithic Data Manager server software. I think you can see the benefits of this system and that it can help you manage your inventory of 860 DSPI meters and also help manage your workforce.
For additional technical training and support, contact Trilithic at 317-895-3600 or toll free at 800-344-2412. You can also email us at support@trilithic.com. Feel free to visit our website at www.trilithic.com.